Welcome back to Chat with a Coach, everybody. Today we have Matt on here with us. Hi, Matt. Good morning. How are
Hey,
you?
hey, everybody.
Awesome. Well, Matt is here to tell us a little bit about his most recent client, or I should say clients. Matt, can you tell us a bit more about what these clients were doing before they came to us at FranCoach?
Well, Quinn, I had the absolute greatest experience ever working with this couple. They're from South Columbus, and what's amazing is they came to us from the sense of they really wanted to help people. They
Mhm.
knew in their mindset that they wanted a business where they were going to be able to make difference in people's lives. So home services was a natural tie for them. They were looking a little bit at the senior center, kind of that silver tsunami that's coming down the path. And we looked at some of those, but it didn't really check off all the boxes. The other really interesting part, they were a foster family. So again, you're talking about a great, great couple who very grounded in their community, wanted to do better for everybody else, wanted to build a business that they could continue to do what they're doing. And it probably the best experience I've had in franchising in well over a decade.
That's incredible. So, Matt, can you tell us a bit more about the discovery process that you went through with this couple? For anyone who's watching this video who is not well acquainted with FranCoach, I'd love to be able to tell them a bit more about what to expect when they work with you or one of our other coaches.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so when we first start working with any couple or any candidate, if you will, that's looking at franchise ownership or business ownership, or really just more than anything, looking to take control over their lives. Here at FranCoach, there's three simple steps we work through. First one, of course, an introduction. Let's get to know each other. Let's visit a little bit, find out if in fact there is a connection. If it makes sense, we're going to ask them to complete a profile for us. Now, in this profile, I always say go get a tall glass of iced tea, step away from your computer, spend a good half hour going through it together because we want to get to the heart of five basic questions. First one, your why. Why are you looking to do this? Second question, what do you want your owner role to be? And not on day one, but on day 120 or day 720. What do you want that owner role to look like? Third question, what do you want your customer interaction to be? Do you want to be front of house, kind of like the Walmart greeter, or do you want to be the great Oz behind the curtain, or somewhere in between? The
Mhm.
fourth question, what do you want your staff, your team to look like as you build it out? And then lastly, what are the industries or categories that are exciting to you?
Yeah.
So as we can get that information through our profile, and then we'll have a second meeting where we'll go through that together. With this couple, we had an incredible meeting to dive into those questions and really peel that onion back. This gave myself and the team here at FranCoach the resources and the information we needed to go back to our systems and then sort through the hundreds of different franchise models and business opportunities we work through to come back to them and present to this couple. We actually presented five different concepts to them. Out of the five, they chose three of them that really hit home for them. The other two were on point, but they thought, let's put those in the back burner for right now.
Mhm.
And then the process really started, Quinn, because now we make the introductions for them at a senior level. So they're talking with the right people within that franchise model.
Totally.
Those franchisors are taking them through their mutual evaluation process, making sure it's a fit both ways. But at Frank Coach, that's where we actually really thrive. Because when that process starts, we're now sitting on the same side of the desk with them. We're making sure that they're getting their questions answered correctly, helping them with
Absolutely.
any resources that they need. And ultimately, much like we saw with this amazing couple, success is in the outcome because that's what we did. We were able to take them through a process in a very, very short amount of time, and they're the happiest they've ever been.
That's incredible. And Matt, that is such a good breakdown of the process. I love this kind of structure of the five questions that people can think about as they're completing their profile, as they're thinking about their role as a franchise owner. So we have kind of an overview of what that might look like for anyone who goes through this process. Could you say a little bit more about this couple in particular and their discovery process? You said you guys looked a little bit at senior care as well as home services. But I'd love to know, were there any challenges or hurdles that you guys faced, and how did you guys overcome those together? How did they overcome them with the help of Matt at FranCoach?
Sure, sure. Well, they obviously, as I mentioned earlier, they're a foster family, so they have a lot of moving parts in their world,
Totally.
and both of them have different careers. The husband, former military,
Mhm.
one of our veterans American here, which is great,
Mhm.
and really had a desire for what he was looking for. His spouse, she currently was employed, and so they had different cycles. You know, they were moving, doing different things at different times. We joked that they had a minivan to carry all of their people. Right? They couldn't have a car; they had to have a van and a big one to do that.
Mhm.
And so some of the hurdles they had were not being always being together at the same time. We used a lot of Zoom video conferencing so that we could be together. And if they were at different locations, we could still all meet and have a great conversation there. So those processes were what got us there. The other really nice thing with the particular brand that they decided to go with, their discovery day or their meet the team day, their final meeting with everybody was done virtually. So they didn't necessarily have to find somebody for their family and travel and go through that heartburn, if you will, of being separated
Mhm.
or trying to figure out the time. That actually truncated the process dramatically, yet still gave them all the information they needed so they could make the right decision for themselves and their family.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And is that something that a lot of franchisors offer, that kind of virtual meet the team day structure, or is that something unique? Like, I know a lot of people might be thinking, I don't know if I have I'm going to be able to travel. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get away from the kids, the family. Is that an option with a lot of the brands we work with?
It became much larger during the COVID era
Mhm.
when nobody could travel. Everybody went to a
Right.
virtual model. And so the legacy of that still exists in many places.
Mhm.
And I would say almost every franchisor for the right candidate, if they can't travel, they'll find a way to accommodate them, whether they allow them to come in virtually or the franchisor travels to them. Some franchisors will actually travel to the candidate. For this particular model, it just happened to be that it worked out. They were prepared to travel. They didn't need to. It just made the process that much easier.
Awesome. And then I have one last question for you, just kind of based on some of the specifics that you've shared about this couple. Is it common to work with a couple, or are most of the clients you work with individuals? I'm sure there are a lot of couples out there who don't know if this is something that, is best to do together or individually. What's your take on that, Matt?
Well, Quinn, I can tell you, no one can make a decision like this in a vacuum. I'm
Mhm.
not allowed to pick out the shirts I wear, let alone buy a business and change the direction of our family. So
Mhm.
we encourage to have all stakeholders get involved in the process as early as they can. If it's a spouse, if it's an extended family member, if it's a group project,
Mhm.
we want to have as many stakeholders in the decision-making process involved as early as possible. No one's going to be able to do the job better than I can. The candidate can't do my job for me. I
Right.
can't do the job for the franchisor. So the sooner we can have the expert communicating the information, we're not playing, remember elementary school and telephone, where I
Right.
tell you something by the time I got to the end, lunch was at 2 o'clock, right? We
Right.
can't have that anymore. It has to be a process where the sooner they're involved, the better it's going to be for everybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. Well, Matt, if someone is considering owning a franchise or is interested in this path, what would you suggest that they do?
Go to FranCoach.net. I mean, I don't think there's a
Incredible.
better place to look at it. There are so many resources from podcasts to videocasts to things you can read. And then reach out to one of us. We'll
Absolutely.
never, ever ask you to sign anything.
Wow.
We're here to help you through the process. So, as I'm quick to tell everybody, Quinn, I'll have a 10-minute phone call with everybody, not
Mhm.
just anybody, everybody. And so, if they'd like to do that, go to the website, click on the link. We'd be happy to schedule a meeting with you at any time.
Incredible. Thank you, Matt. And for anyone who's watching this video, if you look down in the description, we have a direct link to Matt's page. If you'd like to have that 10-minute phone call with Matt, Matt would be happy to talk to you. So we are going to have Matt back on our YouTube channel on Friday for Franchise Friday, and we're going to talk more about the brand that this incredible couple chose for themselves. So we'll be back then. Thank you so much, Matt.